Geometry first with wheel size, suspension, drivetrain's irrelevant. So tonight in the shop, we're going to try something a little bit different. It's something we've never done on the channel before. We're going to have ourselves a Q&A. Put it on the Q&A tab, and 3 of you came up with some actually really good questions. So that's probably a really good number for our Q&A. So let's get to it. Drone Boy, thanks for your question. You have one all-round suspension for the rest of your days. What order to prioritize the following? Geometry, suspension, and drivetrain, and what would it look like? So I'm lucky enough to have a few bikes, but if I was only going to have one and it was going to be full suspension forever, what would it be? That's a tough one because you have to distill all of your riding and all your prospective riding, all the things you might think you might change as a rider and the kind of things that interest you and excite you and engage you with riding as a rider, and boil it down to one bike that kind of does everything but also lives into the future. So for me, my bike would be a 29er. I'd probably have about 140 to 150-ish on the front and about 120, 130-ish on the rear. So kind of sitting it in that kind of like trail bike kind of category, but it's got enough legs that when I want to go out and do long days and put some serious mileage in, it's there because I've got my hardtails and I do like to go out and cross-country rides and put some mileage in, but I've only got a full sus. I need a bike that can do that as well. But I'm going to need something with enough proper, capable all-round geometry that when I take it to my normal trails, when I go up Skolty, when I hit some natural, proper terrain, that it's not out of depth and it doesn't limit what I want to ride now as well as what I ride in the future. So it's still going to have like 65-degree head angle minimum, which for a 29er is on the slacker end of trail. It's going to have longevity, so I'm probably not going to pick something which I'm worried about fatigue, wear and crashing, so it's probably not going to be carbon. Weight is never something I'm particularly concerned about as a rider, but something I might be concerned about as I get older. But probably what I'm going to be most concerned about is longevity of keeping that thing rolling. Working with the Marin, discovering all the weird idiosyncrasies of what was like how you built bikes 20 years ago. And if this is my bike forever, I want to be able to get the bearings. I want to make sure the headset is going to be something I can source easily. There's nothing weird or proprietary of axles or dropouts. It would probably, because I like the suspension feel of the KS platform that's on the Banshee. I also quite like single pivot when I have ridden single pivots in the past when I've had my Heckler. So it could be something like a 29er orange, or it could be something like the Phantom or even the Prime, but most probably it's going to be 29er. It's going to have geometry akin to my current aggressive 650 trail bike with 160 fork, and it's going to have 140, 120, kind of still up forking at the front, but enough in the back to take the sting out of things, but still be pretty efficient for pedaling. I wouldn't think about drivetrain at all. Drivetrain for me is something that I'm going to wear out. In tops, I'm going to have it for a couple of years, and if I'm lucky, 3 years, and then I'm going to probably hit a rock and that derailleur is going to die, or I'm going to end up upgrading the whole system so that it's running tightly again. Thinking now into the future, something like a Hope rear hub where I can change a free hub body so that I know I'll be able to get a cassette I can put on it in the future. And if it's a Hope one, I'll know I'll be able to swap that cassette body out for future standards. If it's Boost, then I know that I'm going to be able to get those hubs for a significant period into the future. And again, it's all standard bearings. It's all stuff that can be serviced and maintained and kept running. If you've got a bike that you're planning on having for a long time, geometry #1, core priority, because they're going to let you know what that bike is capable of doing. Suspension after that fact, because there's no point in having a bike with the perfect geometry if the suspension can't control that bike and that suspension kinematic. Drivetrain, that's pretty much last on my list. Geometry first with wheel size, suspension, drivetrain's irrelevant. Well, this was fun. Enjoyed answering those questions. If you agree or disagree with me, put your answers to those questions in the comments. Love to have a discussion about all this. If you enjoyed this, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more videos like this, more Q&As, let us also know in the comments. And if this goes well, then we might do another one in a few weeks. As always, thanks for watching and happy trails.